Hi there, I want to be talking to you about selling yourself and how important your image is in relation to that in the sales industry. The first point that I have is really that understanding that you only have one chance to make that very first impression. People judge you immediately. You probably only have about 7 seconds to create a really, really great image with somebody when you first meet them. So that and that will last with them for some time. Second point is actually your own personal presentation, how you're looking, so things like how your hair is, how you're dressed, your general hygiene, if you're a girl, what your makeup is like. Unfortunately, we'd hope that in this day and age that appearance doesn't make a difference, but certainly in the sales industry it actually does. You've got to present yourself incredibly well and present yourself, with pride and quite impeccably to create, a really, really good first impression. Third point is really about relating, to the customer. I think finding things to talk about, whether it's a piece of clothing, whether it's a pet they have, whether it's the car or the garden, something that's happening in the environment. 2 ways to do that. Look visually around you. Make sure you're aware of what's going on around. You can pick up a visual clue, from the customer. And the second one is an auditory clue as well. Listen. What are you hearing around you? What sounds? Is there a particular accent that the customer has? These are all things that I would use and be immediately trying to relate with the customer to if I was new to sales. Fourth thing that's really, really important is me actually selling myself. I want to be memorable. I want the customer to be able to remember me when I walk away, so that my approval rate is high and my reject rate is very, very low. So for me, I want to engage 3 things about the customer, to myself. Point 4 is making sure that you're telling yourself. Point 4 is making sure that you're selling yourself properly to the customer, as an individual. You just don't want to be like the last person they spoke to, an average salesperson. An easy way to do this is to fucking hell. Point 4. You want to be able to tell the customer, 3 things about yourself. It's really, really important that they remember you, so that your approval rate is high and your reject rate is low. You don't want to be like the last person they spoke to. You want to engage. You want to be incredibly memorable. My suggestion would be that you tell them 3 things about yourself. Use the same thing with each customer. For example, I would use the fact that I'm from New Zealand, the fact that I would be picking something related to food, and I'll also be trying to throw rugby in there somewhere. It's much harder for a customer to cancel on somebody that they relate to, someone they engage with, someone that they remember, opposed to just being, the last person that I spoke to about that particular topic. So sell yourself, make yourself memorable when you're speaking to the customer. The 5th point that I would say is just be likable. Likability in sales is really, really important and probably very, very underrated. You really want the customer to fall in love with you. One way to get the customer to fall in love with you is talk about things about the customer. Interests of the customer, engage with the customer, asking them lots and lots of questions related to themselves, and their family and their home, or whatever event that they're actually in. So very, very important that you're likable. That means being kind, being nice, coming across as incredibly sincere and trustworthy is a really, really important role in that likability as well.